Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to share how to get your dream style. These are things that I've been working on myself the last couple years and I have found really helpful. And as I've tapped into each of them, my style has improved a little bit and I've gotten closer and closer to my ideal aesthetic. So hopefully these can help you as well so that you can build a closet that you really love and really cultivate a style that can stay with you for many years. So let's get started. My first tip for how to get your dream style is to actually get dressed. And I wanted to include this as the first thing on this list because I'm sure a lot of us are in a very similar situation, but I haven't really been getting dressed the last couple years. And instead I've been, just wearing loungewear and being really casual, not really having anywhere to go, not the usual activities. And as a result, I've gotten out of the habit of getting dressed and ultimately haven't practiced it. And what I've found recently, because I've made a really concerted effort to get dressed pretty much every single day, is that I've tapped into so many things that I'd forgotten about. Really great outfit combinations. I've been able to flex that part of the creativity again, really get those muscles working again, and start to familiarize myself with what I do like and what is practical for my life. So I had to include it because I think that alone can be so helpful because it's very easy to get trapped in the kind of digital space and seeing a lot of inspiration and a lot of fantasy and not really allowing that to connect 100% to how we actually live. And drawing that connection is so important. So definitely make a concerted effort to actually get dressed and use the clothes that you've probably worked hard to cultivate. And I think you'll be able to find things you love, things you don't love, and ultimately get more creative and enjoy the process. My next tip for how to get your dream style is to figure out your bare minimum. So this is something I've done for myself very recently as I've made a concerted effort to get dressed every day. And I've noticed that there are certain things that as long as they're good, everything else is easy. And I feel a little bit more inspired to experiment and actually get dressed. So by finding your bare minimum, you can allow yourself to get ready in a way that doesn't feel like this overwhelming task and instead allows you to have that joy in getting dressed. So for myself, I've noticed a couple. The first is my hair. As long as my hair is in a style that I like and it's kind of in line with how I'm feeling that day, everything else falls in line in a really easy way and kind of any outfit works. And I can kind of play around with different silhouettes with a little bit more flexibility. So that's been a big one for me personally and definitely a top bare minimum. And then the second one is the overall jewelry that I'm wearing, I find has a really big impact on what I'm styling that day. So if I'm wearing a basic shirt, by throwing on some layered necklaces or some great earrings and some stacked rings, everything else feels better. So that is my bare minimum on days when I want to wear super simple pieces. And then the last one that I've noticed specifically now that it's cold and it's kind of winter and kind of gloomy some days is when I'm not feeling inspired to get dressed, reaching for one of my favorite cozy sweaters lets everything else fall in place in a way that feels comfortable for me. My next tip for how to get your dream style is to work with a capsule wardrobe. And I think that specifically here, you'll find this really beneficial if you're at the start of your personal style journey or you're feeling really stuck and you don't really know what direction to go. So I personally love capsule wardrobes, as you know, and I've used them on and off over the last couple years. I don't use them as strictly as I used to, but I still find them endlessly beneficial. And I first discovered them totally by accident on Pinterest. I was packing for a trip and I saw a perfectly curated capsule and I used that to inform my own wardrobe. And over the last couple years, I've been able to take that and that interchangeable mentality and really start to understand what I like, what I don't like, and how I can work with fewer pieces. So I'm able to make better purchasing decisions. So if you're kind of feeling lost or maybe you have no idea what your personal style is, look at your overall wardrobe and then pull out a few pieces. Don't declutter anything or get rid of anything yet, but pull out a small capsule. Maybe move it to the front of your closet, or if you have another closet, move it to that one and live with that for a month, maybe a couple couple months and start to get dressed and practice that and mix and match. And you'll learn very quickly what you like and what you don't like, and also be able to help identify what a fantasy life is versus what real life is and what's actually functional for you. I'm going to link some of my older capsule videos here for you so that you can get some inspiration, and I highly, highly, highly recommend using them as a springboard for understanding your style. And don't view it as something restrictive, but rather as something that can give you clarity. And I think that if you use that lens, you'll find them really helpful. My next tip for how to get your dream style is to stick with a color palette and use that to inform future purchases. So this is very similar to the capsule in the sense that specifically if you're just starting out, don't get rid of anything and instead isolate a color palette in your existing closet and work with that and start to figure out the colors you like and the colors you don't like and what goes together in a way that makes you feel great. And I think that this is so beneficial because having a wardrobe color palette can really help you find pieces for your closet that will mix and match with what you already have and allow you to feel great with very minimal effort. And I find that to be really helpful in developing a style that actually functions within the life that you're leading. The last thing that I want personally is to go to get dressed and feel completely overwhelmed and like no matter what I'm putting together, things aren't really working. So I have a lot of videos on color. I will link them here for you. But if you're just beginning and you don't really know your color palette, I recommend sticking to neutrals that are probably within your closet already. Things like black, navy, gray, beige, brown. Those are things that a lot of us have. They're really easy to find. So I find that they're pretty prevalent in a lot of closets, and by isolating that and then occasionally bringing in a pop of color, you'll start to figure out what you like and what you don't like, and then allow yourself to build out a color palette. And I've done that in a slow, methodical process over the last few years, and now my color palette has expanded in a way that's been thoughtful and intentional, and everything continues to mix and match. My next tip for how to get your dream style is to get comfortable with outfit repeating. And I think this is so important because as you're developing your wardrobe and you're using it in a functional way and actually getting dressed, you're undoubtedly going to start repeating combinations. And I personally think that the beauty of personal style is finding those combinations that you love within your own closet and getting comfortable with those and using those as a springboard. So a great foundation for different accessories, hair, makeup, jewelry, and really using that as the functionality that it's intended. So when it comes to developing your personal style, finding the connection between your dream wardrobe and the wardrobe that serves you on the days that you can't be bothered is so important. And getting comfortable with outfit repeating in a way that still feels empowering is often the missing piece and something I personally have worked on a lot over the last few years. So this year, I'm really focusing on warm weather and how I can find outfits and outfit formulas that I don't mind repeating when it's really hot out, because I'm uninspired by hot weather. I don't look forward to dressing for it, so I avoid it. And that's created kind of a deficit in my closet where I have great outfits up until a point. And so I'm really working on that this year and excited to share more of that with you. So I definitely recommend that you spend time on that for yourself, because making your wardrobe functional on the days when nothing fits, nothing feels the way you want it to, or you're tired or you're running short on time is where a dream wardrobe really does function for your real life. And last but not least, for how to get your dream style is to remember that this is a journey. It's very, very personal and it will likely change. So as you grow and as you evolve and as you change as a person, your style will likely reflect that. So give yourself that flexibility and that generosity as you grow. And don't get too fixated on any one thing and don't feel locked into any one thing. Allow yourself the freedom to experiment with trends, try different silhouettes, grow your color palette, and ultimately do what feels right for you in one particular moment. And how you can use all of this to benefit you now as well as in the future, specifically as you're unsure of how it may change, is you can start to educate yourself on high quality colors that you know you love that are non-negotiables, maybe different hairstyling techniques that you can rely on to change up your closet, and ultimately spend time on things that will come back to you. So rather than focusing on a closet that only has 75 pieces or only 2 colors in your color palette. Allow yourself the freedom to discover new things and ultimately allow it to be a very personal experience, because I think that's the most beneficial in the entire journey.